Stevenson at this point, shall we? Patsy, good to speak to you. We've spoken, to each other many times before. You obviously kind of shot to fame through the Sarah Abrard protest and the way that, vigil, I should say, and the way that the police had that heavy-handed way of dealing with you at that peaceful vigil. I'm really interested to get your thoughts on these women-only tube carriages. Do you think that would be a step in the right direction?
Well, it's a shame, isn't it? It feels dystopian, for one. I know that other countries do that as well. And it to have so many signatures as well, I think it's strange that that's seen as a solution. For me, I think a solution would be combating the actual issue, which is men. If we're getting women-only carriages, do we then have trans-only carriages to protect trans people? Do we have Muslim-only carriages to protect Muslim people? Because right now, there's so much hate for a lot of people. There's a lot of hate crimes. There's a lot of violence going on in the UK. And I think actually the issue is men. So maybe we need a man-only carriage where we put them all in the back of the train and they can just stay there and harass each other.
Forgive me, can I just clarify? I mean, it's surely the issue is some men, a very small minority of men, not men.
That would be lovely if it was a small minority. Unfortunately, it's definitely not, as you can see from the amount of people that signed the petition, for example. As a women's rights campaigner, I've spent my life fighting for women's rights. A lot of people do. The reason that we need to fight for women's rights is because not many people understand how it is perpetuated in society. Misogyny is rife within society. I've said this for 4 years on TV now. It's not just some men, it's almost all of them at this point, and we actually don't know who it is, because if we've got women reporting that, I think it's 98% of them now have reported being sexually harassed and assaulted, it's not by random monsters, it's not by ghosts, it's men every time.
But I mean, again, I think if people are unsafe on the tube, something must be done. And then I agree with your point at the top. It should be tackled perhaps at cause with more police or whatever it might be. But are you honestly saying that the people's safety on tubes is so bad that we need women-only carriages, and that is precipitated by all men?
I think she's arguing against the women.
No, I know, but this is what we're discussing here. I mean, is safety on tubes bad enough that something needs to be done, and is the cause all men? Surely it's not all men.
So the defensiveness that you're feeling now is great to see on TV, actually. So this defensiveness that a lot of men have, where they're like, well, it's not all of us, I'm a good guy, that sometimes hinders progression of women's rights, because you're not thinking, well, have I had this chat down the pub with the lads? Have I heard someone make a misogynistic comment? Do I know someone that's maybe had allegations against them and maybe stuck up for them? There's loads of things and loads of ways that men actually allow dangerous behaviour for other men. So you may not even be doing things yourself, but other men let other men get away with it. And that's where we've got a huge problem as well.
Okay. I mean, I still don't know that that's making people unsafe on the tube. I mean, it seems like a big step to suggest that applies to all men, or 98% of men.
98%, we can say 98%, but it's not a small minority.
Correct, 98% would suggest the vast majority, which is, I guess, the gap between what I would suggest is reality and what you're suggesting.
Luckily, that's why you get me on, because I'm an expert. This is my field, so that's why I'm here to speak about it, because I know statistically that it's almost all men. These aren't like fake figures that are plucked from the air. Unfortunately, until people understand that this is a real situation, femicide is a real issue, and that women are dying weekly because of this issue, if you want to help stop that, then we need to understand that men have got the issue. Men are the issue. If people are trying to take themselves away from that and say, well, it's not me, I'd like to ask if you are attending protests to fight for women's rights, are you posting about this? Are you talking about this with your peers? Do you discuss women's rights? Do you discuss, oh, we shouldn't talk about women in a derogatory way because we're objectifying them and that leads to violence? I hope that these are conversations that you're having, because if you're just saying, well, I'm a nice guy and I treat the women in my life nicely, unfortunately, you're part of the issue.
Yeah, but look, I'm not saying that. We talk about this every day on this program, but I'm not even just saying I'm a nice guy. I think the vast majority of guys are nice guys. I think there's a lot that aren't. I'm not suggesting otherwise.
Yeah,
there aren't problems.
It's an experience. So, you know, my lived experience and the lived experience of a lot of women that I know, almost all women that I know, is that it is almost all men. So it's you know, I appreciate that you're coming from your own experience of being a man. You maybe don't see the amount of harassment and you know, derogatory comments and misogyny that women go through on a day-to-day basis. But it's there every single day. Women write books about it. I've got some books in the corner, you know, that are all about my friends have written, because they're all fighting against misogyny. There's so many activists right now fighting against misogyny, and there's also a rhetoric going around that, you know, that feminism is harmful to men, that we're lying about these statistics. It's quite dangerous rhetoric, and I think when we minimize the issue to, oh, it's just some men, or it's just half of men, or when actually the reality of it is that it's most men, is quite harmful.
Patsy, thank you very much. Indeed, always good to have you on the program. Thank you.
I mean, I think the starting point of that was, do men make women feel unsafe on tubes? It's not even misogyny or things more simple than that. And I think that to suggest all men, or 98% of men, make women feel unsafe on tubes, I don't know if there's evidence for that, personally.
To Gaza now, and